Minecraft servers are wild. You spend hours building something incredible, only for someone to come along and ruin it. But not us. We decided to outsmart them. We dug deep, literally, and created something extraordinary. Welcome to Amethyst Depths, our massive underground base, hidden far below the surface, a place we thought no one could ever find. This isn't just any base. We've spent countless hours turning this cave system into a fully functioning underground world. Farms, storage rooms, living spaces, you name it. We had everything here. We thought we were safe, almost as if no one could find us, hidden from anyone looking to cause trouble. But recently, things started to feel off. Items started going missing, weird gaps in storage. At first I thought it was just a mistake, but the more I looked into it, the more suspicious it became. As I uncover these mysteries, the events that unfolded will blow your mind. The story begins a few days ago when I first noticed some important items had gone missing from our storage chests. Diamonds, enchanted gear, and even rare materials. At first I thought it might just be a mistake. Maybe someone forgot to put them back or use them. But as the days went by, more and more items kept disappearing. So I decided to ask the base members to see if they know anything about this issue. But no one seemed to know what's happening. Everything seemed normal. Frustrated, I started patrolling the base every chance I got, hoping to catch someone in the act. Then one night, while I was inspecting a less used part of the base, I noticed something odd. A section of the cave walls didn't match the rest. The stone looked slightly different, almost like it had been replaced recently. At first I thought it was just a patch up one of the builders had done, but when I broke a block to check, you won't believe what happened next. I started hearing things that sounded like someone was breaking blocks, so I used my potion just in case. And 3 people, who definitely should not be here, appeared out of nowhere. This wasn't just a cave. It was a secret entrance griefers had been using to sneak into our base. After discovering the hidden tunnel, I realized we had a serious problem. Griefers were sneaking into our base, stealing our items, and then vanishing without a trace. I knew confronting them head-on wasn't a good idea. I had no clue how many there were or how well prepared they might be. Although the base is long gone at this point, if I manage to unalive them, it'll give us enough time to transfer all the items to a new location until the word spreads. So I had to come up with a plan. I decided to set a trap. If they were bold enough to come back, I would make sure it was their last visit. So I started making the contraption near one of the chests they seemed to target the most. The idea was simple but effective. When the griefers opened the chest, it would trigger a hidden mechanism that would blow wind, forcing them into a trap hole, and at the bottom of that hole, a deadly fall into the void that would take care of them for good. Although making the contraption and breaking the bedrock took a lot of my time, I think it will be worth it. I had to make sure it blended in perfectly with the surroundings, so that the griefers wouldn't suspect a thing. Any mistake could tip them off, and I couldn't risk that. After hours of work, the trap was finally ready. I also put another star on the item frame to make it seem irresistible to griefers. Now all I had to do was wait. After waiting around 2 hours, I finally saw their name tags and I drank my potion. But I couldn't get into a good position since I was almost about to give up on waiting. I was worried because they might see my particles since I couldn't find a good spot to hide. But they were so focused on checking out the items that they didn't even see my particles. Also, everyone at the base was locked off at this point, so I was all by myself. They looted all the chests and tried to find something of value. But then it finally happened. They finally opened the chest with a nether star. The trap worked perfectly and pushed everyone into the hole. They fell straight to their deaths. But there's a problem. One of them was still alive. He was quick, too quick. He deployed his elytra just as he fell into the void and managed to get out of the trap. I didn't waste any time and started chasing him. He wasn't expecting me to be there, so he panicked and ran away. He even forgot that he had an elytra for a moment. And guys, if we hit 3 subs and 5 likes, I'll keep making videos in this server. The Griefer flew through the tunnel. He was clearly scared after losing his teammates. Then I realized maybe I can follow this guy to see where he's going while staying invisible. I was extra careful not to make a sound. Eventually, the tunnel led to the surface. I saw a boat at the sea and noticed he was going towards that. And he jumped into that boat, anchored by the shore. I thought about whether it was a good idea to hop on the boat with him, because nobody was at the base right now. But I couldn't let him get away. I jumped into the boat without him noticing, just as he set off. He had no idea I was there. The journey was long. I kept perfectly still, hoping he wouldn't hear the sound of my footsteps or notice the particles from my potion. The boat sailed across the sea, weaving through rivers and open oceans. Since the journey was long, I thought about checking out the ship to see what they were carrying inside the chests. Turns out, they had been storing the stolen items from our base in this huge boat to transfer them into their own base. But as we kept sailing, my potions ran out and I had to stay crouched for the entire trip. After a long journey, we arrived at a massive shipping port that looked crazy from the outside. The Reaper docked the ship and went somewhere, so I started following him. After walking from the port, we arrived at a massive base. Hidden in the middle of the ocean. It was nothing like our cave. It was out in the open. So this guy I was following wasn't just any griefer. He was a member of this huge base. And now, I had found their stronghold. By this time, I had already messaged everyone at our base, but since it was midnight, they were all fast asleep. After watching them from the distance, I noticed they were stacking up on TNT and wither skulls, which is not a good sign. That's when I decided to blow up their base while they were gone. I waited around an hour for them to go offline. First, LeBron guy left, and Fried guy followed right after. Now this was my time. I went into their main storage room and realized they were stacked. They had everything in this base. They were extremely rich. I quickly transferred all the important items that I can use to a remote location. I will pick them up after I finish my job here at this base. After that, I started placing the withers all around the base. I didn't spawn them fully, because I will spawn them all at once to create as much chaos as possible. I was just about to finish the last row of withers, and suddenly, LeBron got joined. I decided to place this last row and spawn the withers quickly before they notice me, without knowing the things that are about to happen. This LeBron guy came out of nowhere and started attacking me. His ping was much better than mine, so he had a huge advantage. Then, the worst thing that could happen happened. Right guy joined the game, and now it was a 2 versus 1. They were so much stronger than me, but I managed to somehow pop LeBron's totem. I had to heal, so I equipped my Elytra and started healing. By the time I got back, LeBron was wearing his Elytra, so that might mean I could kill him this time. Even though he quit his chestplate in the last second, it was far too late to save him. And then I picked something so powerful from the ground, I didn't know it was possible to craft in this server. Turns out, LeBron was carrying a nuke in his inventory, and now I had it on me. That could mean I could wipe out this entire base in one explosion. So I crafted flint and steel and got to work. I ignited the nuke and got out of there immediately. The nuke was so powerful it threw me back 200 blocks. And I started flying across the base to see this crazy sight. And just like that, their whole stash was blown up and reduced to its atoms. All their hard work and time went to waste. I think it was justified because they started this war first. And after a while, Fried Guy started typing in the chat. This guy had his whole base nuked and he was still talking. And then he did something that made me go crazy. He leaked my base coordinates with the whole server. So everyone knew my base coordinates now. Turns out he's been watching me all this time from the top. And I started chasing him as soon as I saw him. After a while, his rockets ran out and he started running. He entered what seems like a normal cave and continued running away from me. Then I realized this wasn't a normal cave. This cave leads to one of our train stations that are scattered around the map. And it leads directly to my base. Now I really had to stop him. He started driving the train and I quickly jumped into one of the wagons. I couldn't go near him because every time I jumped, I went backwards. So I equipped my elytra and I tried flying. But I couldn't break blocks while train was moving, so that didn't work either. He unfortunately arrived at our base and started placing the withers without wasting any time. Now I had to stop him before he destroys our base. He was so focused on griefing that he didn't even care about me attacking him for a while. He was so determined on griefing that he destroyed nearly half of my base already. This guy didn't even care about the items anymore, he just wanted revenge. Then I attacked the wither for a while to make it easier for me to attack Pride. But I had no totem on me, so I couldn't go all in, which made it so much harder for me to battle. If I die, I get banned for 2 weeks. But the good thing about the wither is that he was attacking everyone. Even Fried was having a hard time because of it. Although it helped him destroy the base, it made it difficult for him to stay alive. At one point, I got so close to dying I had to fly away to heal. By the time I got back from healing, he was moving towards the building which stored all of our items. After trying to hit him with my horrendous aim, I decided to go near him. This shield was so useful in the battle that it was the only reason I was able to stay alive all this time. My armors were starting to break, so I had to get a new pair. But the time I came back, he set the building on fire. Also, because the totem chest was destroyed, I still had none. But then, he finally popped one totem, which is a very good sign. I was just about to die, so I went upstairs to heal. After hitting him with a surprise attack from the top, I finally managed to break his helmet and his totem. And then I got so close to dying, my heart was racing. But I managed to get out of there alive. He ran out of totems and he had no helmet. It was now or never.